The Labor Day weekend was a very, very long one. I'm talking about NVT 2025 in Westchester, Ohio. I mean, it was hosted by the Columbus veterans team. I'm going to give you guys my experience, what I witnessed. I left Charlotte Thursday. It's about a 55 minutes flight. I arrived Ohio and met up with some friends, checked in at the hotel, and we had a night out. Yes, already that Thursday night we went out, got back around 4 a.m. So it was a long night. I was tired, went to bed, but the next morning I was on the field, and what greeted me is an organized people, very, very organized. I mean, from the entrance of the Voice of America complex in Westchester, Ohio, very beautiful complex, one of the biggest in the nation. I saw organization from the time I made that right turn into the complex. The guys were ready, the police were ready, and they had a strategy, because when you get into the complex, there are parking lots all over the place. Enough parking lots for, I think, 500 plus cars. I will say that. So the guys guided most of the cars to go at the very back. And their strategy was, because I tried to ask them, like, okay, I'm coming in. I planned to play tennis that morning, so I came in order to witness the match pass, and then went to watch to play some tennis before I got back to the field. So I was telling them that, okay, I'm coming to take some videos, make some videos, and then I'll be leaving. So I need to park where I can exit the complex easily. And they told me that I could go right to the back, because they want to fill up the parking lot, starting from the back progressively to the front, and that there was an exit. So I found that very, very well organized. So as soon as I stepped my feet on the pitch, I mean, for the first time, well kept, 25 plus soccer fields. It's big, it's huge. The event was colorful. Started doing some interviews as I got there, because as soon as some of those, I mean, those who know me, saw me, they started like engaging. And of course, I wouldn't, lose that moment, because you might see someone at the very first time you put your feet on the field, and if you don't have that opportunity to talk to them, then you might never see them again. I remember some people I took pictures and videos of at the beginning. I never saw them again. So it's that crowded. Long story short, had some interviews, chopped it up with some friends, and I also went to the command center like the next day. First thing in the morning, I went to the command center. The command center is where everything happens. Not many people see those who are working at the command center. I did some interviews with them. I'm talking about the president of the organization, financial guys, the guys who do the scheduling, and those guys do a lot of work. One of my friends was match delegate. I didn't see him, although we are at the same hotel. I did not see him. I mean, I saw him first thing in the morning, and that was it. 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours, I won't lie you. And I was happy when I heard that they got compensated. Because the work that they do, 8 hours a day for 3 days, that's a lot. You basically don't enjoy that tournament. You work so that the processes put at the back end should be successful. And leadership. When I went to the command center also, I saw good leadership. Because most of those guys, they working on cases. And it could be from disciplinary issues to a team that does not have enough players to start a game. I'm talking about some of the teams coming from Texas, Camden, Arlington veterans. They had a problem with their flight. American Airlines, due to weather, So unforeseen circumstances. So those are the type of cases that the back office is actually working on. Those processes have been streamlined due to technology. For example, identification. Players were wearing wristband. Although for me, I find that dangerous. I don't expect a player to wear wristband while playing a soccer game. Anything can happen. Okay? You can be fighting for a ball and the wristband scratches someone in the face, in the eye, and all that. For me, that's a hazard. So I wish they can look at that situation. And although yes, they give you an ID card, you should not be wearing it on your wrist. There are many different ways maybe to streamline that process to be more effective. And thank God, nothing, in regards to that, incident wise, happened. And that's why in football games that you see, players are not allowed to wear bracelets for that reason. So leadership wears different hats, from delegates, meetings, to making sure that schedules are met and respected, and that everyone abides by the law. Congrats. Pull my hat off, to the leadership of NVT. That's some good work being done. There was also innovation. There was a female game, We are giving opportunities for these ladies to also express themselves. Because before you come and play such a game, you have to start working out. If you're not working out the whole year, at least 1 to 2 months to the event, you have to start working out, eating right, get into form, get into physical shape in order to, So that's something good, because in our culture, the women are far behind when it comes to sports. So I'm happy that the women are having their own say. The kids were there. They can see their moms play. And maybe they can pick up the sports also. So that was very, very good. There was also the playing and the playoffs. And that's to give opportunities for teams that want to make it to the major event, the major competition, So that's innovation. 10 years of NVT. So I like the innovation. The vendors also, cultural side of it, Cameroonian food, African food, vendors coming in. That's a big part, because the NVT village was booming. Music, there was a stage, different vendors. I am Cameroonian. I'm talking about my brother, Barrister Rayo Benson. You guys should visit I am Cameroonian, because that's a good movement. He has some good merchandise. I purchased some of the polo t-shirts. Great quality. Guess what? Made in Ghana. Go check out the quality. Made in Ghana. Yep, made in Ghana. We have to consume African goods, and that's good. Okay? Consumers also complain about some high prices. We spoke about this especially in last year's NVT in Minnesota. High vendor prices led to consumers, paying high prices for whatever food, whatever drink they were trying to consume. So we need to work on that. And sometimes when you need to make these complaints, you guys, I'm talking about the members of various teams, organizations, you guys have the power. You have the knife and the yam to cut it into any direction. But what I don't see you guys doing is holding your team leads, your team presidents accountable. You have the power. You have to hold them accountable. Don't only start talking on WhatsApp and think that you are targeting the right people. No. Start with those that you play football every weekend. That's where you start. Okay? So that's good exposure for a Cameroonian culture. The food, the dresses, the mindset. I also saw one interesting thing. There was even someone over there with a dating app. Yeah, a dating application. Okay? Africans go digital too. There are so many African dating apps now, So that's innovation. Again, is NVT becoming a family affair? I think so. I saw many more kids that I've ever seen before. I saw families, especially in the hotel, I was in. So yes, I think so. It's becoming that. Savet, yes, the San Antonio veterans and the Houston veterans, again with their great style, stylish, from the dresses, from the ambience, from the songs, from the bands. For me, those two actually stood out of 48 teams. Yes, those two stood out. Keep in mind, Gwinnett women, the ladies of Gwinnett, they started this. I don't know. Maybe they're getting old, or maybe family. Um, I don't know what's happening to Gwinnett. Their football also has taken a hit. Of course, they lost to some of the best teams of this tournament. So sometimes, I mean, that's football. You cannot dominate all the time. Those are 3-time champions, but they took a hit this time. Then one of the biggest talk, about this NVT has been about the number of foreigners in a team. And when you talk about foreigners, I'm not sure why these guys are complaining, because, of course, some are making an argument that this is a Cameroonian event. However, the same people that are complaining that this is a Cameroonian event, because Ireland veterans had a good number of, Hispanic Americans, those people did not complain when Minnesota had a good number of Liberian Americans in their teams. So I'm not sure why they talk, because Ireland veterans did not actually start this. And for those who know Ireland veterans, where they actually play in Ireland, Texas, because yes, that's family to me, where they actually play in Texas, okay, Celebration Park. If you go there Saturday morning, you will see these guys playing, okay? Most of these guys actually play over there. So you actually are affected by your entourage. We came all the way from Cameroon to America. Of course, it's a Cameroonian event. 99.9% of the time it's a Cameroonian event. But of course, we have blended families. I'm talking about these various guys who actually played for Ireland. In Texas, we have a lot of Hispanic Americans. So what do you expect? That if I'm playing with these guys and they have connections, we cannot incorporate them. If we play every weekend with some of these guys, do you think I'm not going to incorporate them in my teams? Or is it because of the color of their skin that we are making such complaints? Ireland did not go actually against any rules and regulations or the bylaws of NVT. Of course, we don't want to stop people from talking. But let's have these conversations. Let's be reasonable. Let's keep away from the small talk. And let's talk about issues that will make the organization better. It's 10 years of NVT. We can always bring our knowledge together in order to build the community, in order to build NVT, to make it better. Keep in mind, anything that is happening now in NVT is not how many of the leadership, how many people are in the ESCO? They just a representation of who you are. So whatever happens that's going wrong should be embraced by all. Look for a solution. There's no organization without problems, but be respectful, because some of you guys have been disrespectful in the way you tackle the matter. I'm just giving you my opinions, the way I lived, the whole event. I was all over the place, creating content, talking to people, interviewing people, and I have a bunch of interviews that I'm going to keep sharing with you guys, because I'm here. The reason I took this position, the position of creating content for NVT, as a solo artist, freelancer, because I'm not under any umbrella. Some of you guys saw me and you said, you guys, when you said you guys, you were referring to leadership of NVT. I'm not part of the leadership. Okay? 5 years ago, I was Secretary General for 3 years of this organization. However, I decided to go on a different path, on a different journey, in order to bridge gaps, fill gaps, and in order to make the organization better. I have my ideas. I don't see eye to eye with everything that, the leadership says. However, I know when to tone it down and be productive. I know when to say good job, and I know when to criticize. you know, and that's how we can all grow the NVT to be bigger, better, and stronger in all aspects of the game. This is your boy, Tru3lion, NVT Ohio 2025. Please go ahead and follow me, 19.5, on YouTube, and I also have the same page on Facebook and various platforms. Just 19.5 as one word. As soon as you hear 19.5 as one word, I come up, subscribe. Let's have this conversation, and let's not disappear. The rest 364 days. No, NVT. If we want to grow this organization, we have to be intentional. And although it's a part-time job, for all, let's just put some work at the front end so that it should be beneficial to us at the back end.